Good morning, it's Monday, it's 11 o'clock, so it's time for my Monday make. So I'm not in my makeshift studio, my dining room, I'm actually in my studio today. I've been down here doing a few orders, so I thought I might as well film my Monday make while I'm here. So today's theme for our Monday make is Frida Kahlo. And I'm going to show you how to make a Frida Kahlo inspired planter. So I'll get on to how we're going to do it in a second. But first of all, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Frida Kahlo. She's an iconic artist now. She wasn't really that famous when she was living, but she's sort of been discovered in more recent times. She was born in 1907 in Mexico City. And as a child, she contracted polio. So she was always quite poorly when she was young. And then when she was in her sort of late teens, she had an accident with a tram car and was seriously injured, which ended up, she ended up being in bed for over a year in these really tight medical corsets to try and get her body to sort of fit back together. She'd hoped to go on and be a doctor, but because of this accident, that just wasn't possible. And so it was during her time of being almost like in lockdown, confined to her bed, she started to paint. And her work has been described as a kind of surrealist style. People say that it's kind of like Salvador Dali painting her dreams, but Frida herself said that it was more like painting her reality. It was what she felt she was living every day. Anyway, that's a bit about Frida. Have a look at on Google and see if you can find out a bit more about her. She was very, very colourful in what she wore, and she always wore fresh flowers in her hair. So it's more her dress style that we're going to look at today rather than her paintings. And so I'm going to show you how to make your own cheerful flower pot. Now for this, you need a terracotta flower pot. Now, if you haven't got one of those, then don't worry. What I'm going to do is kind of show you another alternative way of doing it. If you've got a pot like this, then that would be brilliant. But if not, we'll get around it. So what you need is a pot like this, or if you've got like a plastic pot, that will do. Or if you still haven't got one of those, then cut off the bottom of a plastic drinks bottle, like lemonade or Coca-Cola or something like that. So that's your base that you need. Then you're going to need some, if you're going to use this option, you're going to need some masking tape. You only need masking tape if you're going to use this, because paint won't stick to this plastic. You don't need it if you're going to just paint straight onto a terracotta pot. Okay, so then you need some paint. Acrylic paint really is the best, in nice bright colours like the ones that I've got shown on the pot. You'll need some scissors, you'll need some glue, and I recommend this kind of glue, Yoo-hoo glue, that sticks pretty quick. You'll need some felt for the flowers, but again, if you haven't got felt, you could use coloured paper, wrapping paper, or even the colours on cereal boxes if you haven't got felt. If you've got some sequins, then that would be great, because you can make her earrings with the sequins. And if you've got some Sharpies as well, that would be really good. Okay, let's get started. So I would recommend doing it with one of these. If you're going to do that option, what I would do is paint that white first. So paint your terracotta pot white, and you can sort of go down into just inside the rim as well. Paint it white, and that would give it a nice base to start with. So then you're going to copy everything else that I'm going to show you when it comes to decorating. Now, if you're going to do the other option of using the plastic, what you'll need to do is with your masking tape, And I'm saying masking tape because it's like paper and it's really, really easy to paint. You're going to need to cover your pot all the way around with the masking tape like this. So you're going to rip off strips and you're going to stick it onto your pot like that, okay? And you're going to do that all the way around and all the way around the rim so that you're left with a pot that's covered in masking tape. Now you're going to be able to paint it, okay? So once you've got your pot covered, you're going to need to draw a simple face. So the idea is that it's the top of a head with a few flowers, and then you can put some nice bright colourful flowers in the pot as well, and it'll look like Frida's wearing them. So what I'm going to do is just show you the simple shape that you need to draw onto your pot. So this now applies to the terracotta pot that you've painted white, or this version doing the masking tape. So what you're going to do is draw a very, very simple face shape. Then you're going to put in her hairline, sort of coming to a point like that, and a couple of ears. Okay, so hopefully you can see that on that pot. Okay, then what you're going to do is get your paints out. You're going to need to mix a kind of skin colour. So you'll need a bit of yellow, a little bit of red and white, just to sort of make like a skin tone colour. And I've painted the back of my pot a nice bright blue colour, but you can paint it whatever colour you want, because this is really just the background. And then you'll need some black to do the hair. So I'm not going to show you the painting because that'll take too long, but going from my drawing that I've painted, that I've drawn out for you onto the masking tape, and to the one that I've painted here, okay? So you can see that I've filled in the face, the hair, and then I've painted around the back as well, and that's nice and dry now, okay? So now what you can do is start decorating with some flowers. And I would recommend using the Yoo-hoo, as I mentioned, and I've already cut out some flower shapes out of felt. So like I said before, you could just do this with coloured paper, or if you've only got white paper but you've got some felt tip pens, you could draw your own flowers. So I'm going to pop those onto the top. I'm going to put a red one in the centre and a yellow one on each side, like so, and give her some beautiful flowers to wear in her hair. Okay, the one that here's one I've made earlier, another little flower that I've made. So then what you can do is add a little bit in the middle. If you've got PVA, then you can always use that, but it's just, you'll probably need a bit more PVA than you would normally use with paper, and it does take a while for it to sort of dry, whereas this Yoo-hoo glue sort of sticks quite quickly. Okay, so now I've got my flowers, and then what I'm going to do, you can, if you want to, you can do this with paint, or you can use a Sharpie. So I'm now going to draw her facial features. Now, the one thing that Frida Kahlo is really famous for is something called a monobrow, which is where it kind of all goes into one. So it's just one long line of eyebrow. So I'm going to draw that in with my Sharpie and give her her famous monobrow, okay? And then I've done my eyes with them closed. You can have your eyes open if you want, but I'm just going to pop some eyes on there with some eyelashes, like so, and then a little nose. And then with some other coloured Sharpies, and felt tip pens will work just as well. I'm going to give her some rosy cheeks. And this is exactly the same process if you do decide to actually paint a terracotta pot. You'll do exactly the same. The only thing that you're doing different is painting your terracotta pot first in white, and those of you who are going to adapt a plastic pot or a plastic bottle, you're just going to use that masking tape first. But then when you come to the decorating side of things, it's exactly the same, whether you're using terracotta or plastic. Okay, and then with my Sharpie, I'm just going to give her some bright red lipstick, because Frida always wore bright red lipstick when she was alive, with which matched her the flowers that she wore in her hair. So where you've got a crease in the masking tape, it might be a little bit tricky to do that. So if you can try and get that masking tape as flat as possible, the facial features will be a lot easier to draw on. Okay, now finally, I'm going to add some bright earrings. Frida always wore beautiful Mexican jewellery. So I'm just going to pop these big sequins that I found in my craft box to add to her ears. And there we go, a very, very quick and easy alternative to the terracotta pot, but a way of making a cheeky little Frida Kahlo inspired flower pot. And of course you can do whatever faces you like. You don't have to do Frida Kahlo. You can do cartoon characters, or just play around with whichever faces you want to do. And then what you can do then is you can put some succulents, some cacti, some little growing flowers in there, and cheer up your shelf at home. So I hope you enjoy that, and of course please send me photographs if you make one, and I really look forward to seeing the photos and how you get on with that. That's it for today. I hope you're all safe and well, and I will see you very soon.